Good morning, you guys. Happy Wednesday. Today is it Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. I made the mistake this morning of brushing my hair because I thought I was gonna get it wet in the shower. And I decided against getting it wet in the shower because I was like, oh, actually it's fine. And then I had already brushed it and I just should have gotten it wet. I don't know why I did that. So today is a work day and also it's a rainy day. It's supposed to be raining actually literally right now. I think it looked kind of sunny out, but I think it's also raining, which I never understand. Like, where's the cloud? Okay, I think that's good enough. Gotta just like rehydrate the hair so there's not any weird puffiness. Today is primarily a work day. I actually this morning felt I started to get together some of my trip planning for going to Europe, which I'm so excited for. I started to look at actually some hostels because I used to use hostels a lot when I was traveling when I did my big Europe trip back in 2016, which is crazy that that's almost 10 years ago now. I remember I loved hostels, and something about hostels that I think people forget about is like you have to obviously choose the right one. They also have private rooms, which are much cheaper than getting like an Airbnb or something like that, and they still have like free breakfast or any of those other things, which is really nice to have. I actually got my passport in the mail on Monday, which I was so excited about. My old passport is still in the mail, so that should be with me soon, but I was kind of waiting. I know this sounds so silly because like why would I not be approved to get my passport, but I was kind of waiting to start booking travel until I got my passport because one, I wasn't sure if I was going to have to put my passport number on the actual like booking anywhere, and then also because I don't know, I just panic and I was like, what if I just don't get approved? What if the photo that I sent in isn't good enough, or like I don't know, that's so stupid. But I got it, and so that's what kind of started to get me thinking about where I want to go and for how long. So I just came up with some preliminary plans. I have like a whole notebook, or like a whole section in my notebook for this like brain dumping essentially. But if you guys are new here or if you missed it at all, my friend is getting married this year and she chose to get married in Corfu, Greece. And originally my gut reaction was like, that's very expensive and I don't know that I can just like gallivant off to a Greek island. You know, I was realizing that I just kind of felt like this is one of those moments where, first of all, when I traveled, again, almost 10 years ago, like I think about that travel probably on the daily. Like that was such a special, cool trip that I got to do, and I think that those types of things are worth spending the money on because I've never looked back at travel and been like, that was a mistake. Secondarily, this is one of my best friends. Is secondarily a word? Whatever. Secondarily. Secondly, I always say secondarily. I don't think that's actually a word. But anyway, number two, it's one of my best friends, and I feel like why not take this opportunity to go see one of my best friends get married to one of my other friends and just spend that special moment with her. Like, even if I don't know anyone else at the wedding, it's like I'm there to support her, and I don't know, again, take this opportunity to remind myself that I can go and travel, because I feel like ever since that trip in 2016, I've been working so hard to save money and be as frugal as possible and budget and do all of these things that like it's also okay to go travel, and you can also travel on a budget. Like you don't have to get the most expensive hotel or anything like that. So long story short, I decided that I wanted to go, and then on top of it, I ended up winning an award at work. And normally you get a trip to Mexico with the entire team, or like the team of other people who won, but this year they decided to do a cash prize. So it just like, it kind of like aligned perfectly where it's not all of the cash that I need for this trip, but it definitely helps. And it just made me feel like this was kind of a no-brainer. So this morning I started by doing some booking, and I booked a hotel for Corfu, which is again where her wedding is, mostly because like that's the one set of dates that I like know for certain I'm going to be there on those dates, and everything else is kind of a moving target until I've selected flights. Might as well. And it's a refundable hotel. I can always change the dates later, but they were pretty cheap. So I think it was like for 3 nights, it was 380 USD or 360, 340 euros, something like that. So that is how I started the morning. I also feel like I wanted to do that because lately I've been feeling a little, not quite like burnt out, but just kind of like uninspired, and something like a trip always inspires me and like gets me really excited. So I was like, you know what, let's just start booking things and like making it real, because the only way that I'm gonna make it real is if I am the one who does something about it. That's very exciting, and it feels very surreal. I feel like every time I book an international ticket, this is how I feel, where I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. So anyway, those are the updates on that. That was a lot, but other than that, I just have a few meetings today and I'm doing some work, obviously. I'm supposed to be getting a new laptop today as well. My laptop at work has not been charging, so my IT guy sent me a new one, so we will obviously set that up. Anyway, I just wanted to start the vlog and say hi, and let's spend a few days together. I don't really know what else we'll get up to within these next few days, but we'll spend it together. It's 12 o'clock now. Normally I don't take my lunch breaks until 12:30 because that's like my prime time to be doing like work stuff. I feel very productive though, so I feel like it's warranted. I made 60 calls and I held a meeting and also did a bunch of other emails and other outreach. So I feel like it was very productive, and now I'm going to quickly make myself a bagel and a hash brown, that kind of thing, like some breakfast, because I have my next meeting. I have one meeting. These are both internal, so it's like not as, I don't know, like mind consuming. Like it doesn't consume my brain as much, but I have a meeting from 12:30 to 1 and then from 1 to 2. So basically going to be in meetings until 2 p.m. Let's make a quick lunch. I always forget the air fryer. 12 minutes. My call ended 30 minutes early, which is such a good feeling. So it's actually 1:30. I think what I'm gonna do now, I was actually going to go spend some time in the living room, but it's kind of chilly in there. It's a little bit warmer in here. And I'm gonna read for a little bit and just enjoy cozy weather. P just came to join me. You down? There we go. So I'm gonna give myself like 30 minutes or so just to actually read, bless you. Actually read and exist for a second. We're reading Us Against You by Frederick Bachman, and I got pretty into it yesterday, so I'm going to read a little bit more today. He has been sitting here crying, but I don't think he realizes that it's so rainy outside. What would you like? You want to show me? Show me. Come on, let's go. Oh, Ryan just sent me a message saying that he is actually on his way home early because he didn't have as much work as he anticipated today. So he will be home early tonight, which is always fun. I think I might see if he wants to go on our WALK together when he gets home. But other than that, we're almost at the tail end of our work day. Actually, we are at the tail end. It's 4:55. So I think the way that we're gonna wrap up today, like the evening, is I'm gonna wait for Ryan to come home. We're gonna try to take him on his WALK, despite the fact that it's rainy. But you know, sometimes it's fun to like just get out there in the rain. Like I at least personally love it. And then I wanna do a little bit of editing tonight, and then we will end the night with reading. That's gonna be the plan for the day. I think Ryan's supposed to be here like any minute, so I'm gonna try to convince him to go with me, and we will go from there. So I'm just gonna wrap up the stuff on my computer. Actually, my work computer never came. I don't know where it is. It still says that it's out for delivery. I'm gonna wrap everything up and then we will go on our walk. I just got my package from the FedEx guy. I'm gonna open this up. This is supposed to be my laptop. I always get a little nervous when I get a new laptop at work because my very first, so when I first joined the company that I work for, they had actually initially been all on site, and so they didn't have laptops, so you were supposed to like use your own. I was actually one of the first people to get a laptop because I was a new employee when they were like releasing the laptops, and so with that I was able to get a new one like pretty quickly. I had that one for a really long time, but then my computer was like overheating abnormally. I requested a new laptop. It was in such bad shape. Like I don't know who had it before me, but they like tore that thing to shreds. It was like kind of dirty. It was just everything about it. So I cleaned it up and I did my best with it. Now it's not charging properly. I have to go clean this. You know, I take it back. I think this one was like fairly clean in comparison to the other ones that I've had. Okay, I'm in. I'm going to set up my computer so that I'm like ready to go tomorrow, and then we'll get back to editing. Good morning, you guys. Today's Thursday. I keep getting my days mixed up. I keep thinking that today is Wednesday and that yesterday was Tuesday. I don't know where my mind is. I'm gonna make some coffee really fast. Yesterday, I did some editing and I then set up the computer for today. Ryan was like, you should have just done that on the clock, but it's just hard because if I don't have the computer set up, then I can't set it up until like noon. And it's just so much easier for me to be able to like set it up and log on and not have to like spend the first half of the day with settings that I don't like. Like, does that make sense? So I just set up the whole computer yesterday because I knew it was gonna make me feel so much more set up this morning. When I sign on, I have to sign out of everything on the old laptop and ship that out. So I think maybe today we'll ship that out, go over to like FedEx if I have the time. It's not supposed to rain today, I don't think. It's just kind of gloomy, but you guys look at the flowers. These flowers are starting to bloom. Obviously the oranges are here and you can't really see it from here, but you can kind of see those like white specks. Those are also flowers. So it's like a similar flower to these ones, except they're white and they're like in that section of the yard, which is always so pretty. It's just so lovely when you see all of the flowers coming to life and it's so pretty. I don't know how else to say it. I always love this backyard. Like, I remember when we toured this place and we saw this backyard and I was like, I have to live here. I don't know what to say. And I still feel that way. Like, every time I see the backyard, I'm like, I can just sit outside and work today, or, you know, I have this like whole space to myself, which I feel so lucky to have, because even when I had larger spaces, I had roommates. So it wasn't like to myself, I guess. I mean, I have Ryan, but he's not really a roommate, you know? It's just different, just so peaceful. But the flowers like make it even more peaceful, which makes me happy. Other than that, work and some reading as usual. So we have a pretty average day happening here today. And I only have one external meeting and a few internals. So it should be a pretty easy day, like no back-to-backs or anything like that, which is really nice. So I'm gonna make my coffee and then we'll get to the rest of the day. It started to rain again. It's like barely raining, but it's raining. My gardeners just left. P was going nuts and I'm feeling really tired. My hour is officially up from like my lunch break, but yeah, I'm feeling tired today. So I'm heating up my coffee that I didn't finish this morning. I only have a little bit left. Sometimes when the weather is like this, while I love it, it doesn't ever feel like day came. Like, it still feels like morning, but it's almost 2:30 p.m. I'm gonna get back to it for a little bit. I'm gonna go sit in the living room. Let's go get set up in there. We'll finish our workday from that area, and then I don't really feel like going to FedEx today, so maybe we'll do that tomorrow or something, because it's not a rush for me to send this laptop back. I feel better already. Okay, let's go to the living room. Wow, it is rainy out there. He's been doing this new thing where he expects a carrot after he goes on a walk. When I have clothes that like don't obviously like let me get wet, it's actually very fun to be out there with Pete, because he loves to just like explore and like walk around. There's like honestly fewer dogs, which like is so nice because he's not one that like gets along with all of the dogs. Overall, like it's actually pretty enjoyable, and I am just one that like loves the rain. So I think that it's fun. But now we're back and I'm just gonna hang my jacket up over here. I'm gonna put my work laptop away. Yeah, so let me clean up because I got kind of messy over here with all the stuff. I got like my coffee and my laptop and just like all of my things. And I think I want to read for a little bit and then we will get to the editing, just because I'm not really in the mood for it right this second. I feel like I was getting into kind of a reading slump and now I'm like excited to read again. So let's do that for a little bit and then we'll edit, and then yeah, I don't know why my toxic trait is that every time it rains, I really want McDonald's. I don't need McDonald's though. I'm not gonna do it. up already. I didn't realize how late it was. I did not end up doing any of the editing that I wanted to do, but I did do some reading, which was nice. And then I have this goal for myself that I wanted to write in my notebook every single day. And I've actually been successful. This is my just like journaling notebook. And I am a huge fan of journaling. I've been journaling, I don't know a time that I haven't journaled, but sometimes I like get really into it. Sometimes I'm like not as much into it. And I had a goal for myself last year to journal every single day, but I was not successful. I think it was good for like the first 6 months or so. And then I kind of dropped off a bit. So I'm trying to get better at it, and I have been doing well. Like I actually have been journaling every single day. Today I just like had a really nice little time with myself, just talking about things and just like being more creative and just kind of getting out of my own head, because I feel like I definitely have been feeling a little burnt out lately. Yeah, I just don't want to feel that way. So that was really helpful. One thing that I did kind of like write in the journal to myself, but saying it out loud as well, I kind of want to start to journal in the mornings. Like I've always done it as like a reflection period in the evenings to like think about how my day was and like what I liked and what I didn't like, what I could do better and all those types of things. But I remember when I was younger, we had a teacher like in 3rd grade or something. I still remember her name was Señorita Frolic. If you guys didn't know, I went to an all Spanish school, but she was so cool. And she had us journal every single morning, like when we would come into class. And I was kind of writing this to myself, but like, I kind of want to shift to this idea of like journaling in the morning and like just kind of brain dumping, getting everything out, because I feel like in the mornings, I'm more inspired. I'm like more in the mood to like do things. And like, that's when I can like change my day and just like do something for myself. Whereas like by the evenings, I'm like, ugh, I was lazy today and I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. But I don't know, like I feel like putting pen to paper in the morning could be kind of a nice little routine. So I might try it for a little bit, we'll see. I have heard like mixed reviews of The Artist's Way, and I've never actually like looked into it myself, but one thing that I do know is that it does tell you to start new like creative endeavors, work through the blocks, and to also journal or like write 3 pages in the morning, like first thing when you wake up. And I just like, I love romanticizing those types of things, like grabbing a coffee and sitting at my dining table that I love to sit at and just journaling for 3 pages. Like that's not that much. And I think that that sounds really lovely. I have told you guys that I've like been toying around with writing some stories and things like that, which is something that I used to do. And I just want to like get better at writing little short stories here or there. So that's something else that like I forget that I can do in my journals. Like I don't have to just talk about how I'm feeling or like what's going on in my life, but I can also just like create things in there, which I know sounds so silly, but like I think as adults things have to be so linear sometimes, and like it's okay to not be so linear. That's a lot of like the stuff that I was just reflecting on myself, and I'm excited because tomorrow I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna start my morning by journaling and we'll see how I like it. But for right now, I didn't do my editing, so I will also have to do that in the morning. But I want to go to bed now so that I have the ability to wake up at a decent hour and not feel too tired, because I'm already feeling tired right now. So I'm gonna go get ready for bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. I started work. It's like, what time is it? It's 9:30 now. I only have one meeting at 11. I'm going to just kind of do a few things before that meeting and then have that meeting. Afterward, we'll have some breakfast, and then we're gonna run over to FedEx to drop off this laptop because I need to drop off the laptop finally. Those are sort of like all of the plans. Only other things that I want to do is I want to read more of my book today, and I also wanted to do a little bit more editing on a different video. So that's the goal for the day. I'll do some of those things like on lunch break or after work. I'm debating actually sitting in maybe the living room because one, it's just like really beautiful out today. The last few days have obviously been rainy, but it's been really nice today. So I'm thinking about going out and sitting over there and like watching TV while I do some work. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do actually. So let me just shift everything over. I'm gonna head over there. We will get to some work. you guys, it is 5 p.m. Ryan actually came home early. I got so scared because I heard P run inside the house and like cry, and I was like, oh my god, is he hurt? Like, what's going on? And it turned out that Ryan was home early. He's out walking him, which is so kind of him. He walked him this morning and now he's walking him again for me. Anyway, I'm just wrapping up. And yeah, just shut off my laptop. I think they're still out and about. They've been out for like 30 minutes. Like, they've been walking for a while. So I think I'm going to maybe do a few edits and then we'll see what we end up doing. If we don't go anywhere, then we'll just hang in here, maybe play a video game. That could be kind of fun. I think I showed yesterday, we ended up playing Overcooked for a little bit, which is always really fun. We ended up finishing the game. It causes a lot of argument, but it's really fun and an easy game to just like pick up and play a few levels and like be done with it. Let's go get the laptop. I'll do some editing and then we'll see what we end up getting up to tonight. Okay, update. There's already been a update on like what our plans are. So he was saying that he wanted to go somewhere. I was like, ooh, maybe that somewhere could be Target. And then he was like, no, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking food. And I was like, well, I'm not hungry. So we decided we're not gonna go anywhere. And so instead of doing my editing right now, which I do need to do at some point tonight, but I think I want to spend some time doing some reading. So I want to read Us Against You because I wanted to get through a good chunk of that tonight. But I also wanted to start Dune because this has been on my shelf for a very long time and I have been intimidated to read it for various reasons. I actually realized that previously I got to about 60 pages in, but I didn't realize it's 600 pages because it just doesn't look like it's a 600-page book. Like, it looks like it's, I don't know, 400 or 500. Like, it looks almost the same size as the last Kristen Hanna book that I read. I think I'm gonna do the thing where I designate X amount of pages per day and I just like read that per day for an entire month. If I start reading today, then it would be about 25 pages and then I can finish by the end of March. And I really feel like that's not that bad. That's like 30 minutes of reading. So I'm gonna give it a shot. So we're gonna start with reading 25 pages of this. I think that's like 1 or 2 chapters in this book. And then we'll switch over to Us Against You. And then if we at all are feeling like we wanna do something different, then we will go and do some editing. That's the plan for the night. Let's just get to it. Okay, it's kind of funny because I'm currently reading Dune and I'm only a chapter in, so I have not actually gotten that far into the book, but I feel like this time around I actually understand what's going on in this book. I tried reading this, I want to say maybe around like 2020 or 2021, and I was so confused. And I think honestly I just really hadn't read a whole lot of fantasy or like sci-fi at that point in my life, and so trying to read something like Dune, I was like thrown into this world where I had no idea how anything worked. And I do feel like I like understood the concept of like sci-fi fantasy type novels, but not to this extent. And over the years, I feel like I have read so much more of this type of genre. Again, only chapter 1, but so far I'm actually understanding it and enjoying it. So I'm gonna read that next chapter and then I'm gonna switch back over to Us Against You. I don't know, I feel like I've been really enjoying doing like the dual reading type thing because based off of the vibe or like where I'm at in different stories, I can swap over to like different books and I feel like that's really enjoyable. Okay, I officially read two chapters out of Dune. I officially put it on my Goodreads and my Fable because I think I'm gonna commit to trying to read this. So I made it to page like 26, which is not very far, but again, I'm gonna try to take it slow because I don't want to overwhelm myself with this one. And then I also read one more chapter of Us Against You, which I really want to read more of this, but I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not in the reading mood lately, and I think that like after reading the Kristen Hanna book, it kind of took it out of me in the sense that like I don't know how to recover from that book, I guess. But I'm on chapter 14. I have like 10 hours left of this, so I think I'll end up getting to this over the weekend. But I wanted to maybe watch some TV because there's quite a few YouTube videos that came out today that I was very excited to watch. So I'm gonna do some of that. P's here with me. He's just like being really cuddly right now and just like so cute. I think I'm going to just kind of hang out with him and watch some TV and then we'll get back to reading Us Against You. But yeah, it's only 8 o'clock right now, so it's still like fairly early. And tomorrow we have to leave the house by, I think we said like 8:45 or 9 a.m. I'm gonna try to wake up up early-ish, but I don't have to wake up at like 5. Our friend just recently had a baby and they are doing a baptism, which I'm not very religious, so I don't really know much about. Like, I know I was baptized, but I don't remember anything about that, and I don't know what I'm supposed to wear. I don't really know anything. So we're just gonna kind of wing it, but then we're having lunch with them after. It's gonna be a fun day. Sometimes what am I trying to say? Like, sometimes I look forward to having a weekend where I don't have any plans, or like I don't have to wake up at a certain time. So when I do have those plans, I'm like, ah, dang. I kind of wish I could just like do my own thing in the morning, but I know it's gonna be really fun to spend some time with friends, so it's gonna be worth it. Let's watch some TV and then we'll go back to reading the book and go to sleep from there. But for now, TV time. I completely forgot to end this video, so I did want to just say thank you guys so much for watching. I ended up posting a short all about the weekend that I had after this video, so if you guys have not seen the short, definitely check it out. It's on my channel. But otherwise, I appreciate every single one of you, and thank you for following along, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.